Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, there was an article today that we should be a little concerned about. It's nothing major and can be overcome, but we should keep an eye on it anyways. So let's get into this. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Miles Franklin. The link will be down below in the description. When you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they'll take care of you. If you have any additional questions, you can reach us over here at this phone number or over here at this particular email. For all orders over $10,000, reach out by email and we'll make sure that you get a great deal. So come on over to Miles Franklin and add to your precious metal inventory. First things first, it looks like Hamas has accepted a Gaza ceasefire. Israel says it will continue talks, but launches strikes anyways. Yeah, let's hope that the issue over there in Gaza is handled and it's over with quickly so people can go about trying to reestablish their lives. I know it's easier said than done, but take a ceasefire so innocent people can stop getting killed. So this is the article right here I am talking about. But before we get into it, there's something you must understand. You have to know what they're talking about. So, a correspondence bank, because a lot of people have asked me, what the heck is the difference? A correspondence bank is a third-party financial institution that acts as an intermediate between domestic and international banks. Correspondent banks effectively act as an agent of a foreign bank to conduct business transactions with the domestic bank on its behalf. They provide various financial services such as treasury services, processing international wire transfers, handling global investments and trading financing. The correspondent bank charges a fee from the foreign bank for the services rendered. So good, now you know what this article is about. It says, the shocks have changed. The governor of the central bank explains the impact of the openness of Iraqi banks on their international counterparts. So on Monday, the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, Al-Alaq, highlighted the impact of the openness of the Iraqi banks on their international counterparts, while noting that the global economy has begun to face a phase characterized by rising levels of public and private debt. Al-Alaq, in his speech at the conference, the challenges facing Iraqi banks in complying with international laws and legislation and meeting the requirements of correspondent banks. Central banks have faced increasing challenges after decades of appearances and are closer to quintessential, starting the decline in interest rates and inflation, pointing out that the global economy has just begun to face a phase characterized by rising levels of public and private debt. Whatever the challenges are that are facing Iraq's banks, those issues need to be addressed as quickly as possible. These are the types of issues that Iraq can run into if they can't tackle these challenges. So, a loss of the correspondence banking relations, if Iraq's banks fail to comply with international laws and regulations or meet the requirements set by the correspondence banks, they may risk losing their correspondence banking relationships. Correspondence banking is essential for facilitating cross-border transactions, and without access to these relationships, Iraqi banks may find it difficult to conduct international transactions efficiently. So, what other hurdles could they be running into? Limited access to the global financial system. Non-compliance with international laws and correspondence banks requirements can result in Iraqi banks being isolated from the global financial system. This isolation can hinder their ability to send or receive international payments, access trade finance facilities, or engage in other financial activities that require connections to the global banking network. Increased compliance costs. In an effort to address compliance issues and meet the requirements of correspondent banks, Iraqi banks may incur higher compliance costs. This could include investing in technology, hiring compliance personnel, conducting regular audits, and implementing enhanced due diligence measures. The additional expenses associated with compliance can put a strain on the financial health of Iraqi banks. Reputational damage. Failure to comply with international laws and correspondent bank requirements can lead to reputational damage for Iraqi banks. News of non-compliance or regulatory violations can erode trust amongst customers investors and counterparties, potentially lead to a loss of business opportunities and a decline in market confidence. Legal consequences. Persistent challenges in complying with international laws and regulations may expose Iraqi banks to legal consequences such as fines, sanctions, and even legal actions by regulatory authorities. These legal repercussions can further exacerbate the financial difficulties faced by Iraqi banks. So Iraq definitely needs to hammer out these issues as quickly as possible to make sure that these international laws and regulations are not a challenge to the banks. We all know why they're challenges. There are certain individuals within Iraq's government, we won't name Maliki's name and his friends, that are fighting tooth and nail to keep these kind of things from happening, since a couple of them own banks and they make their millions doing illegal shiesty stuff through these banks. We know that Al-Sudani has been kicking ass. Let's hope that he gets these things tackled as quickly as possible so they're not holding up any other further business that Iraq can be doing. Especially with their accession into the World Trade Organization, something like this could put a halt to it. I'm not saying it is, I'm saying it's possible it can. He added, the nature of local, international, and historic shocks have changed due to an increase and decrease in demand, with the exception of supply shocks, in addition to new challenges represented by financial stability in public financial policy and a financial control decision that requires reducing spending and increasing domestic revenues. The governor of the central bank explained over the past years, the Iraqi banking sector has opened up to local financial institutions over their international counterparts. And to the extent that all this achieves communication and attention with the outside world, it undoubtedly carries many challenges and impacts. Allah continued, we hope that this conference will succeed in reaching the effective solutions to this challenge and devoting cooperation and coordination between Arab central banks, Arab expenditures, and non-banking financial institutions to achieve stability and growth. The conference will succeed in reaching effective solutions to this challenge and devoting cooperation and coordination between Arab central banks, Arab expenditures, and non-banking financial institutions to achieve stability and growth. When you go through the news regarding Iraq, you're going to notice there is a lot of articles talking about the changes and reforms that Iraq is making to their banking sector. This is a big move for Iraq just for the reasons I mentioned earlier. When you have corrupt politicians who own banks and are using these banks to do some illegal activities, it makes it real challenging when you're trying to do reform because those individuals have a lot of influence over the parliament and that can make things a little challenging for Al-Sudani. So I have faith that Al-Sudani will take care of this stuff, and like Allah said, during this conference, they hope to find solutions that they can implement right away and make sure they stay on track to get Iraq doing business once again with the international community. Anyways, that's it for now. Leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. I'm out.